Welcome to Toffee TV. It's a manager update. This might be our last manager update before something is confirmed.
We can talk about the manager who is the manager.
That's what I'm saying. This might be our last speculation.
Oh, okay.
Kind of.
Could be.
I mean, let's be honest. It's down to one now, isn't it? I mean,
It seems to be.
For all we know, it was always down to one because Everton put a statement out last night, basically saying no one has dropped out the race and we haven't offered it to anyone. So that basically suggests that people like
Vita Pereira
and people like that, and anyone else who'd been in the...
He just played the old, oh, these want me.
He did sort
Contract.
of... That was sort of speculated at the time. But I think a lot of people said, why did he put that statement out? No, they didn't have to put that statement out. But I almost took that as we've only been after one fella, and so forget all these other people, forget anyone saying that they've rejected us or whatever. We've only ever been after one guy. And we haven't offered him the job yet. So, but it does seem like now, with various sources, some in Italy, some in England, are saying that Carlo Ancelotti will be the next Everton manager. With Sky Sports going as far as saying, and I'm just saying this is Sky Sports, that he will take over for the Boxing Day game. And that his son will be one of the assistants. Duncan will be one of the assistants. And, you know, the rest of his team's already in place. So if that is the case, what are your thoughts?
I'm glad that Duncan will be one of the assistants. Because I think what we've seen with Duncan is his ability to motivate. There's been a whole atmosphere change at the club since he took over, I would say. Certainly from a fan perspective. I don't know what it's like behind the scenes, but the players have certainly seemed to have bought in it, given the two performances they put in for him since he's been in charge. I think Sunday's performance against United was arguably better than the Chelsea one due to the amount of changes we had to make and who we had in midfield. Chelsea was great, we won the game and all that, but what I mean is with what he had to pick, where it was, the form they were in, I think to get that kind of performance out of a team shows his ability tactically and motivationally. So I think it's key that he's part of this. Carlo Ancelotti's got one of the best CVs around. You know, 3 Champions League wins. He's won the league in England, he's won it in Spain, he's won it in France, won it in Italy. So Germany rather. So top leagues that he's had success in. Didn't win in Spain, did he? Spain's the only one he didn't. Germany and Italy. So big wins in countries, managed a lot of the world top clubs.
Players.
And the players are big egos and you know top of the game. The only kind of worry I have is that he's quite clearly on his way down. You know, Napoli was a step down from Bayern. Everton, people will say, is a step down from Napoli. They're in the Champions League, we're clearly not. So there's a little bit of a worry there with him being 60. But one of the things that kind of smoothed it over for me was if Duncan was with him. Because I think, as far as my mind is, Duncan will now be getting groomed for the manager after Ancelotti going into Bramley Dock.
In your mind?
In my mind, that hasn't. No one's come out and said that, but that's how I see it because I think he's earned that almost.
Would he be learning from another top fella?
Top manager. So
another top fella.
That's kind of where I am with it in my mind. So that to me then is a better fit than just another manager coming in with all Italian stuff.
Listen, I'm in a similar position. I honestly can't sit here and say I am like, oh, this is going to be the best thing ever. I honestly can't say that, and I don't know whether that is because we've got another manager and it's another thing again, and I don't want to get ahead of myself. So I'm sort of keeping myself level. I'm not saying I don't want him. I'm definitely not saying I don't want him. I'm just keeping myself level into a point where we'll see where it goes. He's a manager who's never managed from this position, I don't think, before. Well, certainly in his, since his early days. But if he's a top manager, he can turn that around really, really quickly. And I think that's what the club are looking at and thinking, this can be turned around really, really quickly. I don't know whether that was always the objective, to go and get him, or Duncan has shown it can be turned around if you instill something into the players. Because obviously the rumours were early on that we were going to go try and look for someone till the end of the season, or that was part of the thing. If he's a good manager, he should be able to instill that into players straight away and get a level of organisation. He's Italian. Italians football, from what I can see, is all about organisation. It's all about getting your defence. I mean, listen, Italy is the #1 country in the world for defending.
For defending, yeah.
Simple as that. They love their defenders. Treat defending like, you know,
it's an art.
Yeah, and you know, so from that point of view, I'm sure he'll get that right.
Finished second with Napoli last season.
Yeah, Napoli were a good side. Listen, there's been question marks in the last few years about some of the things Bayern Munich played, saying about his coaching and all that kind of thing. Listen, I don't know, because I wasn't there. So all we can hope for is that he comes in and he's got high standards for the players, and those high standards continue. You know, we don't want it to be a case of, well, it's Everton, so it's got to be high standards. And he installs that, and the players who are at the club will be hopefully will thinking, Carlo Ancelotti, big name, managed some of the biggest players and biggest clubs in the world, and hopefully they respond, and hopefully, you know, if it does happen, that results can, you know, go the way we want them to go. He's been in the Premier League before with Chelsea, won the league, got sacked for coming second, I think, won the FA Cup. So knows what it's all about, and I think this is the appointment that Michele always wanted to make, but there was never quite the person out there, the right time, right place. For him, he obviously thinks Ancelotti's the right man, and it is the right time. And like anything, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm like you. It's not one that I'm kind of buying all into, do you know what I mean? Because I think what you've said before, we've had a lot of managers recently, and everyone that doesn't work makes you more sceptical about the next one. And that's it. It's like, I can't sit here and go, oh, everything's going to be perfect now, because we don't know. But saying that, the caveat to that is, there's nobody out there that I look at and go, who we could get and go, he will turn us around, no problem. But with Duncan there as well, I think it might be a good fit.
Hopefully,
So after two, if he's allowed to coach, he's proven himself in the last couple of games. I think Ancelotti will. This has been on the cards for a few weeks. It was muted 3 weeks ago, but he's still managing Napoli. So if that's the case, then he will have had his eye on Everton, and he will have seen probably the impact Duncan Ferguson's had in the last couple of games.
Well, he took Ray Wilkins. He got Ray Wilkins in, didn't he, at Chelsea? And obviously he's had Paul Clement with him at different places as well. So it's not a case of it's a closed shop and he just has his people around him. He obviously respects the idea of having people who understand the football club around them and uses them as you should do. And we've mentioned this loads of times. That's where I think Michael Silva, we think, fell down, because he did have a closed shop and maybe pushed Duncan to a side where he should have really been helping him. I mean, listen, the one I wanted was Benitez. When we faced, and I wasn't really looking at Carlo Ancelotti, probably because he was in a job. And really, if you think about, I mean, Carlo Ancelotti's track record in terms of winning things is much better. But in terms of where they are right now, they're probably sort of similar. You know, that sounds stupid, but Benitez went and managed Newcastle. Ancelotti's coming to us. Not saying we're Newcastle, but you know what I mean. It's like, the only thing the reason why I thought Benitez was a good fit at the time was because he had managed Newcastle, and he had sort of experienced a club away from the higher echelons of the game in European football. But I suppose in terms of at the other end of things, you know, they've got similar experiences, and Ancelotti's done more and won more. So I suppose from that point of view, I should sort of be happy with it, because it sort of does tick the box.
He won 17 trophies or something.
Yeah, he's won
a lot of stuff. Listen, he's a successful manager. Like I said before, he's managed Real Madrid, Napoli, Paris Saint-Germain, Juventus, Milan. You know, big clubs in world football with all the top names. You know, he's beat Liverpool quite a few times. Even recently, he played Liverpool 4 times in the last 2 seasons, and he's beat them twice and drawn. In fact, the only team to beat Liverpool so far, aren't they, this season? So you know, he's got their number, which is nice. A derby win would be nice, wouldn't it? But
we've got one of them coming soon.
Exactly. It's what, listen, it's like I said before, it's difficult to know exactly what Everton need. Duncan's shown us what we crave as fans, that connection with the team and that connection with we're in it together. And if Ancelotti's smart, and I think he probably is because he's been to a lot of clubs, he will buy into that with Duncan Ferguson, and he'll say, like, you're the connection, the fans love you, the players respond to you, and if you could ideally get Duncan's motivation and threatening looks and Ancelotti's careful planning, you might have a match.
Well, you might have that. You might have the man at the top that it all started and comes down, and he's going to be like the over figure, and it all works through his assistants and everything else, and the coaching staff. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, listen, it's not been confirmed yet, so we're taking it as.
One thing I would say is, if you're an Everton player, though, you can't say to him, "Show me your trophy."
Yeah,
he's won everything. So
exactly,
straight away there's a respect.
Straight away there's a respect, and from the outside world, Carlo Ancelotti. If you look, as you just said there, look at his clubs, and then go, and then like, oof, Everton next on the list. The one thing that would completely smooth it over for me would be to bring one of his old players to Everton.
Like who? Of course it would, but you'd allow bloody Alan Pardew in charge if he brought Zlatan.
He's going to Holland.
Oh, well, he is actually, yeah. It's Den Haag, isn't it, or something?
So, you know, go and get Zlatan. You had him at PSG. Go and get him. Bring him with you.
I think the thing is, like I said, it's one of them. It puts Everton, you know, people will sit up a little bit probably and take notice. It's probably what Moshiri wanted. Yeah. Brands, I believe, has given the full approval to that, and he's worked with people like Louis van Gaal when he was getting on. I think what it should do, ideally, is it should allow Brands now to get on with his job, because Ancelotti's managed some big clubs. Yeah. You said it off air before. Just been in Napoli, where they literally bolt the training ground shut and say,
this fella, he'll have had demands on him. Everton think they're needy, Napoli fans, and
he's had win ratios at Bayern Munich and Real Madrid of 75%.
Yeah, I think the last time he fell under 50% as a win ratio was at Parma, I think.
It was early on,
I think it was at Parma, which was his second club.
So it was early on. But, you know, he knows the club. He can front the club up because of who he is. People will look at him and go, he's a name. And that should allow Marcel Brands to carry on what he started last summer. So theoretically, we still should be trying to buy a similar kind of player as what we wanted to grow, and then maybe Ancelotti will say, but let's get him in. And
he'll understand.
James Rodriguez is obviously coming on loan.
He'll understand the standard of a player now, because if he's worked with the very best, he understands the standards, what it requires to be a top player. So we'll wait and see what happens. You know, I don't know. Obviously, Duncan's in charge for the game against Leicester,
and it looks like Arsenal as well.
Possibly Arsenal, and then maybe Ancelotti be in the stands on Saturday. Maybe not. Maybe he's going to have a few days away. I don't know.
Well, the latest reports are he's going to Napoli to sign off on the thing, and then he's apparently
sign on then.
And then apparently, according to the latest reports, he'll put pen to paper.
He was going to go to Vancouver because he's got a holiday home, I believe, in Vancouver, and he was supposed to go there, and that's why a lot of people were like saying, "Oh, it's not going to happen." He's willing to have a break, but Everton have obviously
greased his palm,
offered him a deal he couldn't refuse.
Well, according to all reports,
he made him an offer he could not refuse.
Exactly. He's going to be the Everton manager on Thursday or Friday. It'll be confirmed. So, and then that kind of fits in that Duncan would take the team anyway Saturday. Maybe he'll be at Goodison and be. I mean, that'd be a kick up for the atmosphere as well at Goodison on Saturday, wouldn't it? If they introduced Ancelotti beforehand and Duncan's taking it. So, we'll have to see. But like
Wales Saturday then.
If we win. It's about winning the games, right? That's the most important thing.
That's all that matters. Let us know your thoughts. Do you want Carlo Ancelotti? If you don't, tell us why. If you do, tell us why. I mean, if you do, there's obviously very good reasons why you want him. But if you don't, let us know.
Well, I think the thing is, are you concerned he's like this now, or do you think that he's got that much experience as a manager that it can only benefit Everton Football Club?
Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. Click the bell for alerts. You know exactly when Carlo Ancelotti becomes the Everton manager. If he does become the Everton manager, I'm sure we'll be going live not long after that. And if you want more great videos like the live video we're about to do, join us over on Patreon. The links are all in the description. Thanks for watching. See you later.